Answer eBook, How to Stop Your Metastasized Cancer, Complete Review, more information video description link below this video. Buy now for only $37. The solution below solved many people's cancer problem, and odds are it will give you a good chance to solve your cancer problem also. Should you choose to take the short journey below, you will discover why so many people are so thankful that they did. But before we go any further, please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Norbert Simonis, and this is really a very typical story, but I need to make you aware of my background and how I arrived here. Like so many people, started smoking as a young man at just 14 years of age. Me and my friend did the same when I was in my 20s. I watched my friend's mother die a slow, increasingly agonizing and painful death from her breast cancer that had metastasized. The medical establishment tried, but nothing the doctors had to offer could stop the metastasized cancer from taking over her entire body. She did what research she could for terms like how to get rid of cancer naturally, holistic treatments and cures for metastasized cancer, and alternative cancer treatments that work. But you have to understand, this was in 2002, and the internet was not really so informative as today, so just about all her research had to be done at our local library. Sadly, I had to watch her die a slow, agonizing death. The last 6 weeks of her life was spent in a hospice bed, where she was reduced to welcoming death that would finally once and for all ease the excruciating pain that she was in. His father also had a real scare with a cancerous left kidney. His cancer hadn't metastasized, so his doctors removed the cancerous kidney, and he has been fine ever since. Then a day that I hoped would never come for my friend. Well, it came during his routine annual physical. The typical blood test and chest x-ray was done with the understanding that my friend's labs would be tested and the x-ray read by a radiologist, and that the results would then be passed on to him as is normal with his annual physical. A few days later, his doctor's office called and informed him that his chest x-ray was abnormal and that the radiologist saw something suspicious. His doctor, knowing his family history and that he was a smoker, he was immediately scheduled for a CAT scan with contrast. He was terrified and petrified, knowing he might have lung cancer. Worse yet, he just knew that with his luck, it had probably already metastasized, and he was destined to die in a hospice bed, much like his mother had before him. Was he scared? You bet. He was in useless wreck, and he had seen the devastation that cancer causes firsthand. He was so sure that he was a dead man walking that he almost didn't go for the CAT scan. Instead, he chose to spend time googling search terms like how to cure stage 4 cancer naturally, natural lung cancer cures, natural treatment for lung cancer, natural cure for lung cancer, natural remedies for lung cancer, and a whole bunch more. His girlfriend saw him doing these online searches, so she begged and pleaded with him to go. He finally overcame his fear, came to his senses, and so he did go for his CAT scan. Was he scared? You bet. He was in useless wreck. The results came back a few days later. But did we get peace of mind? Nope. What we got was, there is a tumor on your right lung, so let us schedule you for additional testing to determine the stage, he said to his girlfriend. Cancer. They either had to be joking, or this was bordering on medical malpractice. He refused to accept the diagnosis, or to agree to additional testing. He just had visions of what his mother endured etched in his mind, and he was hell bent on not being subjected to all that she had to endure. His girlfriend pleaded with him to do additional testing, but in his terrified state, he already knew it was cancer, and worse yet, it was probably on the verge of metastasizing, if it had not already metastasized. So, as far as he was concerned, he knew he probably only had 18 good months left to live, and he was not about to spend them being poisoned with chemo drugs, or being violently sick from radiation or any other experimental treatment. He was scared out of his wits, but he was absolutely determined not to have his girlfriend watch him die a painful and agonizing death from lung cancer. If there was anything at all that he could do about it, he knew he needed a real and effective alternative lung cancer treatment that would save his life. He had no idea where to find an effective lung cancer alternative treatment plan, or where to find guidance on how to cure lung cancer naturally, but he knew what the answer wasn't. It wasn't going to be snake oil, elephant tusks, shark cartilage, or any of the one natural or alternative lung cancer treatment that can be found with a quick Google search. It also surely wasn't going to be that secret miracle lung cancer natural cure that was saving people all over the world, but was being suppressed and withheld in the USA by the demonic forces of evil within the pharmaceutical industry. And it probably was not going to be an offshore clinic in some unfamiliar, strange third world country, touting their ability to cure lung cancer naturally, even if you could afford to pay for it, he said. If those were my only options, then let me just get my affairs in order and make sure that I have a really pretty dress for my girlfriend to bury me in. The survival rate for metastasized cancer of any origin over 5 or more years is really depressingly low, because current medical science just doesn't have anything to cure metastasized cancer or solve a metastasized lung cancer problem. Current cancer treatment protocols do a great job of dealing with localized cancer, and they really are developing some very exciting new cancer treatment protocols. But the unfortunate reality still remains that if your cancer has metastasized and spread, it's still pretty much game over. So like just everybody who finds themselves in his shoes, he had 3 choices. 1. Pray, hope and plead, while waiting for cancer to kill him. 2. Subject himself to whatever mainstream medicine had to offer like chemo, radiation, or surgery. Or 3. Try to figure out how to stop his lung cancer from killing him by finding and using a natural and effective treatment protocol. He chose option 3, and then aggressively launched a mission to save his life. Fear and desperation are probably two of the greatest motivators there is. However, the biggest hurdle that he had to overcome was that the internet is a fantastic library and a really great source of all manner of information about alternative lung cancer treatments. But, unfortunately for those of us who have looked, there are an awful lot of dubious claims, extreme hype and out bold-faced lies, available on the web, where tons of books and hundreds of websites offering anywhere from a single product that cures every disease mankind has ever known, including those trying to tell you how to get rid of cancer naturally, to even more websites offering 299 guaranteed surefire alternative lung cancer treatments, including cures using the root from some plant that is only found in the Amazon rainforest or on a mountaintop somewhere in India. Guess what? Common sense and research told me and him that him using any of the above options would be fooling himself, and therefore ultimately leaving himself with zero chance to beat the disease. So, let me be brutally honest with you, we had a hard time believing that something that was already being promoted as a lung cancer natural treatment or a natural lung cancer cure hadn't made its way to the USA or Germany yet, although they claimed the methods were proven valid in some countries. Then I wonder what for countries that would be. But if your mind works anything like mine, you probably already know this. There is no magic pill or secret drug out there that can cure lung cancer or keep you alive. If you believe otherwise, then you are fooling yourself. He therefore knew I couldn't afford to be stupid or gullible, because there was a stifling terror that gripped him at the thought of high lung cancer metastasizing. Why? Because do you know that if you need treatment for metastasized bladder cancer, treatment for metastasized bone cancer, treatment for metastasized breast cancer, treatment for metastasized cervical cancer, treatment for metastasized colon cancer, treatment for metastasized liver cancer, treatment for metastasized lung cancer, treatment for metastasized ovarian cancer, treatment for metastasized pancreatic cancer, treatment for metastasized skin cancer, or cancer of any other origin, especially after you have done 3 rounds of chemo, or 7 rounds of chemo and radiation. Odds are it's over. Close the shades, update your will, finalize your funeral arrangements, and kiss your family and friends goodbye. Well, I knew all of that, having seen it firsthand as I watched my friend's mother die from metastasized breast cancer. The absolutely saddest part is that the only certain thing now is when, and not if, you will succumb to the cancer metastasis. I knew I just had to find an alternative lung cancer treatment protocol that actually worked for my friend. Because his family needed him, his life 100% absolutely depended on me figuring out how to treat lung cancer naturally. Many times he wanted to give up. He had almost come to terms with the reality that he had terminal cancer and that he would be dead in 12 months. He went through a gamut of emotions like fear, anxiety, dread, and anger, but he challenged those emotions and went together with me about the work of saving him. Please allow me the pleasure of sharing with you the eureka moment when everything all came together that I had been looking for, which, to recap, had to meet the criteria below: A. Simple, B. Effective, C. Cheap, D. With very few, if any, side effects. I therefore needed an alternative treatment lung cancer protocol that would stop my friend's cancer debt in its tracks and return his health, peace of mind and quality of life that he was missing and so longing for. I believe that I am an intelligent person. Not just book intelligent, but everyday, common sense intelligent also. That curious intelligence led me to conclude that after many decades of waging war on cancer, there had to be legitimate, valid and credible studies that revealed an alternative cancer treatment protocol that would flat out work. Why did I so conclude? Because there are literally thousands of cancer research papers published by university researchers all over the world, with some fantastic results, but they are not followed up on by Big Pharma. The reason for that is actually quite simple and very capitalistic. Big Pharma exists to make money, lots and lots of money. So if you read the current newspapers, you will see many instances of where government and taxpayer funds have been used to make breakthrough discoveries in the lab, but the only ones that ever make it to market, or that you hear about in the news, are the breakthroughs that Big Pharma has determined can be profitable to their bottom line when they monetize them, aka sell them to you and me in the form of very expensive prescriptions. This problem is so real that legislation has been introduced in the US Congress to stop Big Pharma from taking taxpayer-funded research, introducing it as a drug and then charging exorbitant amounts of dollars for it. Don't believe me? Then when you get a chance just Google. Many of Big Pharma's overpriced medications developed with taxpayer-funded research, and plan on spending the rest of your day being amazed, and not in a warm and fuzzy way. Anyway, I digress. After untold hundreds, if not thousands of hours of searching the web, and reading hundreds of these research studies, my hard work and relentless efforts were rewarded when I found several studies that had been rigorously peer-reviewed, and which were supported by hundreds more rigorously reviewed university studies. What all of these studies did was to put together for me a genuine, scientifically validated treatment program that was virtually certain, at a minimum, to stop cancer metastasis in its tracks, if not outright cure it, if the protocol was properly executed. The researchers were so enthused by the results that they declared, "We predict that this alternative cancer treatment approach will be more successful than current approaches, because it is based on the principles of evolutionary biology and metabolic control analysis, and that it could truly be an alternative cancer cure." Folks, what that meant in plain English was that it could be used for many cancers, so if you needed an alternative breast cancer treatment, alternative prostate cancer treatment, alternative pancreatic cancer treatment, alternative liver cancer treatment, then this was your ticket to a real chance to treating and beating your disease. Stopping the metastasized cancer from potentially killing my friend was a Herculean task. Therefore, I kept on seeking additional validation. The more I kept searching, the happier I got, because everything I was finding strongly supported all the other studies, and significantly increased the potency of the treatment protocol. Wow, wow, wow. But since I'm the kind of man who knows that he never has all the answers, I decided to hire a PhD scientist to professionally and independently review, verify, substantiate or debunk everything that I had found, and to locate any research that might contradict the findings. Here is what Dr. Kirsch had to say after he completed his comprehensive analytical review. "I like to be as close to 100% sure as I can get, so even after Dr. Kirsch's review, I looked at how the American Cancer Society acts, evaluates mainstream and alternative cancer treatments. They do this by asking 3 questions. 1. Has the method been objectively demonstrated in the peer-reviewed scientific literature to be effective? 2. Has the method shown potential for benefit that clearly exceeds the potential for harm? 3. Have objective studies been correctly conducted under appropriate peer review to answer these questions? Fortunately, I was able to answer all those questions with a resounding yes. Every single piece of knowledge reinforced my belief that this truly would give my friend a great chance at staying alive if current mainstream protocols like surgery, chemo, and radiation failed him. Let us quickly recap what is going on here. But before we do, you should know I am not here to bad mouth or bash unbridled unchecked capitalism as practiced by Big Pharma, because the medical fields have been very good to my friend's family. His girlfriend is a chiropractor, his aunt is an RN, his other aunt is a pharmacist, his sister is a medical doctor, and one of his brothers was a marketing guru for Big Pharma. So, the truth be told, they have been very good to his family. But guess what? Big Pharma makes some very vicious business decisions. Just look at how they unconscionably raise prices for several drugs by over 400% at one time. So it should be fairly easy for you to understand that there is not a Big Pharma business person in their right mind that would spend millions to educate MDs or the general public about a cheap and effective treatment protocol that has been scientifically validated by elite research scientists time and time again. Why? Because it has zero potential to add to Big Pharma's already massive net profits. So, what you will soon learn is what their research scientists have known for decades, that you stand an outstanding chance of defeating cancer, if not outright curing cancer. If the right protocol is used, the protocol would be best described as a holistic and natural treatment that would need any definition of a natural treatment for prostate cancer, natural cure for colon cancer, natural cure for lung cancer, natural cure for pancreatic cancer, natural cure for breast cancer, or any other metastasized cancer that you need a real alternative treatment protocol for. Have you heard about the class of angiogenesis, the formation of new blood vessels, inhibitor drugs? Well, if you haven't, here is what you need to know. Cancers don't need blood vessels to kill you. What your cancer cells need to kill you are the nutrients that the blood vessels bring to them so that they can continue to grow and metastasize. Research scientists have known and proven this over and over again for decades. You will learn the specific details of how and what to do so that you can effectively starve your cancer to death while feeding your normal cells and keeping them very healthy, thereby accomplishing the same objective as the angiogenesis class of drugs. And you will do this quickly, cheaply, and most importantly very effectively. The 70+ years of clinical science that supports it is absolutely overwhelming. So here is what this is all about. If you have cancer of any origin, no matter how aggressive it is, or even if it is metastasized, you really don't have to be dead too soon. Quite the contrary, you will have a plan that is a whole body and systemic protocol that will suffocate, starve and kill cancer anywhere in the body. It matters not if it has been declared untreatable cancer, metastasized or still localized. It doesn't matter the origin, lung, breast, liver, pancreas, etc. You will be able to put cancer into full retreat in 30 days or less before, during or after chemo. If you execute the treatment protocol, your reality is that you now have available to you a clinically researched, scientifically valid treatment protocol that will solve your cancer problem. This is a potently holistic and effective natural cancer treatment and healing system, which too few cancer patients even know about. One, the scientific truth of the matter is cancer, like every other cell, requires energy to survive, which it gets from glucose2. Scientists in labs all over the world have known this for 7 decades. 3. What they haven't told you is that if your blood glucose level is normal or above, then your cancer is being fed, and you stand practically zero chance of beating the disease if it is metastasized. That is why the 5-year mortality rate for metastasized cancer is so high. But you now have no more worries, because revealed here is the life-saving and life-extending multi-pronged strategy that my friend used to save his life. Let's face reality head on. It is just not possible to cure cancer by standing on your head for a couple hours a day, taking a vacation to Tahiti, or eating apples, grapes all day long. If it was that idiotically simple, you wouldn't be read this. What you will find here is all bona fide legitimate science, revealed as the combination of Mother Nature's potent and not so secret weapon, combined with an FDA-approved drug in tandem with a deadly Trojan horse that will take the battle to your cancer and could very well win the cancer war for you, much like it did for my friend, having survived my friend's cancer with no signs of the disease in his body. While I cannot guarantee a similar outcome to my friend, I have nevertheless committed to ensuring that everyone who wants and/or needs this will have access to this life-saving information. The life-extending and life-sparing protocol is easily worth an insane sum of money if you have metastasized cancer, but I am not charging an insane sum. As a matter of fact, quite the contrary. I am practically giving it away for just $37. Yes, you read that correctly, only $37. Just to be clear, this is a professional bookstore quality book and is immediately available online via book for your immediate download and reading. I have committed to ensuring that everyone has access to this life-saving information. Share the book with your trusted advisors and friends if they think the science is bogus or that the protocol just isn't for you. Trust me, my feelings won't be hurt because my friend is alive and never felt better. Read the ebook at your leisure. Share it with the smartest people that you know and ask them for an opinion. Please note, immediately after payment you will be taken to a new web page, or you can check your email for the link to immediately access the life-sparing information, where you can open, save and immediately begin reading the ebook. If your life or the life of your loved ones isn't worth a lousy $37, then all I can say is, good luck, Godspeed, because I've done all that I know to do. Thanks for stopping by, and here's to wishing you yours similar great health and much future success and happiness. Norbert Simonis. You can start solving your cancer problem right now for only $37. Buy now for only $37, 60-day money-back guarantee, bodytime.com, all rights reserved, privacy policy. More information, video description link below this video.